When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite, obey your thirst.
Oh, Hilton stay, your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. Enjoy comfortable rooms and friendly service when you stay with Hilton instead. Save up to 25% this season when you book with Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Terms apply.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. You're ready to move your business forward, but first, you need to find the right team. Start your search with Indeed-sponsored jobs. It can help you reach qualified candidates fast, ensuring your listing is the first one they see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs are 90% more likely to report a hire than non-sponsored jobs. See the results for yourself. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Listening to the Animation Addicts Podcast with the Rotoscopers. Episode 359, Zootopia 2, Therapy Saves the Day. Welcome to the Animation Addicts Podcast with the Rotoscopers, the #1 place to get your animation fix with animation addicts just like you. Each episode, we dive into the wonderful world of animation featuring Disney, DreamWorks, Pixar, and everything in between. From hilarious discussions and movie reviews to interviews with industry insiders, this show's mission is to brighten your day through our love of animation. So hop on your nerdy couch, grab some snacks, and get ready to hang out with your animation besties because it's time to dive into today's episode. Hey there, animation addicts. I'm Morgan Stradling.
And I'm Chelsea Robson.
And we are back in the land of the mammals.
Ooh.
For another episode of the Animation Addicts Podcast. We are talking about Zootopia 2, which will be very, very exciting.
So nice. They made it twice.
Yes. This is one that you kind of thought was always going to be made as a sequel, but surprising that it took 10 years.
Did we, though?
Well, based on the trajectory that Disney was going, it was and the popularity of this franchise, especially in certain countries.
Okay.
Inevitably, it's going to happen, but it took a while.
And I remember when it first came out, we were very much into it. Also, it was like year 3, because it was 2016, right? So early on in the podcast, we were very excited about this. So we'd only been doing the podcast for like 3 years. Mm-hmm. So I have fond memories of that, of making that podcast. So go check it out.
Early days.
While the Who's of Whoville were laughing and eating, the Grinch from his lair sought to wreak havoc on their season. He thought, how do I ruin their holiday meals? A plan sprang to mind, which he enacted with zeal. Dill pickle seasoning on fries will make for a green surprise, and I know they'll be shocked with these loathsome odd socks. So if you want to experience the Grinch's mischievous meal, head to McDonald's and show him how you really feel. The new Grinch meal, now at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's while supplies last.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Popeye's Scary Good new Freddy Fazbear Box has garlic palm tenders and cheesy bites with marinara sauce. Try it before it's too late. And see Five Nights at Freddy's 2, only in theaters. Love that chicken from Popeyes. Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants.
The Who's down in Who Newville were making their list, but some didn't know Walmart has the best brands for their gifts.
What about toys? Do they have brands kids have been wanting all year?
Yep, Barbie, Tony's, and Lego. Gifts that will make them all cheer.
Do you mean they have all the brands I adore?
They have Nintendo, Nespresso, Apple, and more.
What about...
So the Who answered questions from friends till they were blue. Each one listened and shouted, from Walmart? Who knew? Shop gifts from top brands for everyone on your list in the Walmart app.
All right, so let's do some basic information about this film before we get started. The film is Zootopia 2. It's directed by Jared Bush and Brian Howard. Brian Howard, you might know from a variety of things in the Disney world. He directed Bolt, Tangled, the original Zootopia, and Encanto, and came back for Zootopia 2. So he in kind of this 2010-ish, the revival era. He has done quite a bit for Disney and he's been around. And then obviously Jared Bush, he's now the new president of Walt Disney Animation. And so he was the other director on this.
Oh, there you go.
But the release date of this film was November 26th, 2025. It was written by Jared Bush. I want to see who wrote the first one. Obviously not. Yeah, so Jared Bush did write the first one along with Phil Johnston. So he was definitely involved in the Zootopia world. The music, which I thought was interesting, we could talk about it a little later, was by Michael Giacchino.
Mm-hmm.
Production company, Walt Disney Animation Studios, distributed by Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures. And the budget expected around $150 million. And the box office, as of recording in mid-December, is $917.6 million. Now, let's talk about that because it's within days we'll be hitting the $1 billion mark.
That's crazy. That's so crazy. I was looking at Box Office Mojo and I decided, let's look at, this time, this year to date kind of thing, like what was going on in all of the years. So the Thanksgiving 5-day all-time biggest movies, it is already up at number 2.
Wow, of all time.
Of all time. And guess what number 1 was? Moana 2.
Oy.
Guess what number 3 was? Frozen 2.
Yeah, I mean.
So you have all these 2s that are coming out, right?
Yeah.
In the Thanksgiving weekend. Number 4 was the original Wicked. And number 5 is Hunger Games Catching Fire.
Lots of 2s.
So all the 2s come out on the Thanksgiving weekend. Yeah, Hunger Games, then Frozen is number 6, and then Wicked for Good, Wicked number 2, is number 7. And then Ralph Breaks the Internet is number 8.
Oof.
And then Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. And Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Oh.
So, okay. Toy Story 2 came out on this. Mockingjay Part 2. So many Part 2s. Oh, and Twilight Saga New Moon. Breaking Dawn Part 2. And Creed 2. Okay, just so y'all know. Thanksgiving is the weekend of sequels.
Yes. If you want your sequel to do mega bucks, release it during Thanksgiving. Only if you're, a big studio.
Right.
So interesting, and so this movie's actually has kind of an interesting breakdown because it did really well, obviously, in its opening. It came out over that break, that 5-day theatrical. And one of the things about it is that it did very well in China.
Oh.
For some reason, China and the Chinese market really adores and loves these characters. They have, I believe, a Zootopia land that's in the Shanghai Park that's opened or opening. And so when you look at the breakdown of this, the opening weekend, it was projected to do over 125 million and 270 worldwide. And it ended up exceeding that. And it did 158 million in the US, which is crazy. And then worldwide, it did 560 million.
Wow.
So it was projected to do 270 worldwide. And it doubled it.
Yeah, wow.
And many of that had to do with performing very strongly in China. It did 271.6 million, but that's because you say 5-day, but they had the Tuesday previews. And then you have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's like almost like a whole week. But nonetheless, this is done really well and it was performed really well. It's just funny to me that Moana 2 was still
it still beat him.
Because we all know the history of that film and how we all feel about that film. And I think a lot of people had the rug pulled out from under them with that movie. They were just really excited for another Moana, and it was not. Go listen to our Moana 2 podcast for that. But here we are. It's been nearly 10 years since the first one came out, and we have Zootopia 2. And what's interesting about this film is that the setting wise, it's not set, a few years in the future or whatever. It is just a week later.
Yeah.
And they really just want this to be like back to back.
Okay, what kind of storyline do you prefer? Do you like it where it's back to back like this, like literally the next day, picked up right where we left off? Or do you like, 10 years later, here we go?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like the next day is rare. Like it's very uncommon for that to be the way that they go about films, although it does happen. 10 years later, I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel like that's what Wicked for Good was. It was like set number, X number of years in the future. I don't know if I have a preference, but I probably a few years later, give it some breathing room. Like the characters have grown from then and maybe have some different problems. But with this one, they still had some issues to work out that hadn't been resolved. And I think maybe that's one of the reasons why it didn't work very well for me is because everything seemed very rushed. And I guess I should say this movie is very, very well received on Rotten Tomatoes and all of the critics and everybody basically that's reviewing films. It has a 91% score on Rotten Tomatoes, and then it has a 96% audience score. And everyone, like critic friends that I know and just, different reviewers that I've watched and listened to, they all loved it and they were raving about it. And then me, spoiler for, jumping all the way to the end, I just didn't love it that much. I just didn't see what was so great about it.
I agree. And I texted you directly after. And direct quote from the texting, I said, I just finished Zoo 2. Why are these other critics saying it is the best sequel? Just because it isn't overly political? And it's like, literally, I feel like we've come to that point in movies. It's like, they didn't try to smash our heads with a frying pan. Yay!
They weren't so obvious and over the top with the message.
Right. Like, I mean, here's the thing. Anyone could find any kind of message politically in something if you wanted to. And so it's like, there's definitely going to be somebody out there like, I can definitely feel vibes of this thing that I'm really interested in. And I'm like, yeah, that is going to be something. But it wasn't like we have been accustomed to in recent years where it's just literally frying pans, not literally, but it feels like frying pans in my face.
Yeah.
But I was just like, yeah, I give it a solid meh. And I honestly, I texted you thinking like, did I miss something? I don't know.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. So this movie happens basically a week after the events of the first film. The first film kind of focused on this predator-prey dynamic that was in Zootopia.
Which is kind of done again here.
In a way, it's just like with a different group.
Yeah.
It's more just differences in species or types of animals that are the focus.
I mean, that's all I kept saying. Like you kept getting, I had a snake. In case you didn't, if the listener doesn't know, we did have a snake and I definitely fed rodents to the snake. And so like, there's so many points in time where it's like, that's my main question. What do snakes eat in this world?
They don't go there. They don't don't talk about what the snakes eat. They don't talk about what the predators eat. It's just not discussed because they can't broach that.
Right.
I mean, either they just say everyone's gone vegetarian and we're living in this Zootopia utopia.
Right.
And I think that's what you're just supposed to assume.
Well, they did eat the worms.
Yes, because worms are the type of animals that are, fair game.
Nobody cares about worms. Nobody likes me. Everybody hates me. I'm gonna go eat worms.
So this movie is a week later, and they are officially partners. But they're kind of having clashes of personalities, which are creating some problems. And they're really gung-ho about, especially Judy, about finding the next case, like doing the next big thing. And Chief Bogo doesn't really like that, because you're overstepping and you're trying to put yourself in situations and give yourself jobs that you haven't been assigned. And so they have to go to this assigned partnership therapy session. And then through this, they realize, I think there might be snakes in Zootopia, which to this point, if you maybe hadn't paid attention, it's really mammals only. There's no birds and there's no snakes in Zootopia. And I think that's simply just to keep it simple and easy for the, the first film. But it may have been purposely done to allow room to grow.
Yeah.
For the next one. At the very end of this, they do have a cliffhanger and it's a bird feather. It was like, okay, you want me to ask, what happened to the birds? It's just like, okay, so we're going to do another one of these. So yeah, anyways, they end up trying to discover where is the snake, and the snake ends up being a good guy, and they end up working with the snake, and then the snake, then they start going on this search for the patent. And I'm sitting here as a child, like, do they even know what a patent is? Like, clearly not, but it felt very tech.
They have
coded.
They need a piece of paper. Gotta get the piece of paper.
It's just so funny. It was like the patent for the city of the snakes. It's like, I don't know, maybe like a deed, maybe a trust, maybe a will. I don't know. It's just the patent
Buried
itself
treasure
made me chuckle a little bit.
Yeah.
And so then they go and they uncover, who's really running Zootopia and what really happened in their past. And yeah, it turns out, spoiler, that it was the Lynxes, who were kind of like a founding family that was, and definitely one of the leading families as far as political control.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So yeah, that's the plot overall. Where do you want to go with it?
Yeah, some of the things that I liked about it, they did have some fun gags. The things that stuck with me at the end, even were the hungry hippos. They had a moment where the hippos kept trying to eat these little balls that came around. It's like, that's funny. Yeah. And then also they kept throwing in other millennial-based jokes. Yeah. So, for example, there's a Babe quote at the end where he's like, "That'll do, pig.
Yes,
that'll do."
Yes.
It's like, okay. There was also so this came out in 2000, or the original came out in 2016, and I believe the "What Does the Fox Say" video was around that same time. And I feel like that one was a leftover joke that they just like, I really just wanted to say that to like pull that out in the first one, but then it didn't, maybe it got cut. And so like, oh, I can finally bring it in on the sequel. I mean, it's kind of a throwaway line, but it's just one of those like,
if you know sort of thing.
Yeah. If you know, like, okay. So that's more of a, I guess, at least the Gen Z might get that one, but Gen Alpha and below will have no idea what that is. And there were a lot of things that I felt like, yeah, that was cute. Yeah, that was fun. Okay. But in general, I felt like it was hard to really get into it because, one, we've already explored the universe to some degree. Mm-hmm. And so they're not really adding anything in that regard. And then also, like, they're bringing different, like, they brought Shakira back, and so you have Gazelle, and she's there, and her part was just funny. Like, she's just like, we're behind you all the way, and that's like her only line. Mm-hmm. But it's just, and then she has her song. So I mean, you can't say that that's not cool to be a singer in a Disney movie, but that is awesome. Thanks for her. But it was just interesting. Like, also they had the thing that I think bothered me the most was how Nick was just so blasé through the whole thing to the extent that it was like, it was just flat. And great, like, yes, they make that as part of his backstory and as part of his thing, but they didn't do it in a way that he actually had to, I don't know. It was, yeah, it was just what does the fox say? Like, he doesn't say anything. And so it's until the end where he just says everything. And so that was kind of it just kind of bugged me, his attitude through the whole thing. And not in the, come on, man, I'm on your side. It's just more of a, why are you so blasé? Like, the voice acting just made me feel like it wasn't. And I love Jason Bateman, so I'm not saying this as a knock against Jason Bateman, but I think just the direction of it just felt like the blaséness went on too long.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people really praise this film for the slapstick humor and the jokes, and it was funny, but I wasn't in it for just like this constant barrage of jokes. That's not really what I was going for. And then it also felt at the very beginning that it was just go, 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 go. And from the majority, it's so funny you say, like, we've been in this world before. There's not much more to explore, but at the same time, we do go and see all these different worlds. We see the swamp where the reptiles are, and, the tundra zone. So we do
Yeah.
exploit, but like I felt that it was just so focused on action, action, action that we didn't have time to sit down and breathe. It's like they didn't trust themselves. So we're just going to like, boom, boom, boom. We're going to make it funny and we're going to go from place to place to place. And it's going to be so action packed.
Yeah.
And so I felt very fatigued, midway through because it didn't feel like we had any time to breathe or relax. And there's always like a car chase scene or this or that. So it just felt like a lot at the very beginning. And it does slow down, when we get to Reptile Land and whatnot. And then, then it starts having a little bit more of a normal pace. But for me, the rushed beginning didn't work for me at all. I just felt like, oh, when are we going to stop? And it's actually interesting. There's been 10 years, since then, Bad Guys has come out, and Bad Guys is kind of in a similar vein.
Yeah.
Not really. It's not entirely.
I mean, they're the good guys in the Bad Guys, but yeah.
It's, these anthropomorphic animals that are the stars. And I even just felt like Bad Guys vibes when they go undercover at the party. And I'm like, well, we've seen this in Bad Guys. It just felt kind of derivative, even though it probably wasn't. And that's like a totally fine plot point in lots of these movies, like these heist movies. And I like heist movies. You go to the party, you go underground, and you got to figure out how to steal the thing, right? And that's another thing is they had the MacGuffin, which is like the magical thing that you're supposed to find that like solves all of your problems. And that's just like a trope in some of these films. And in this, it was the deed, or excuse me, the patent. Anyway, so yeah, as I was sitting there, I was just kind of like, okay, this is a lot happening. And then they, the plot starts kind of happening at midway point in my mind. Once we realized about Gary, but it was just so funny because everyone I was talking to in my family just loved it. They loved the jokes. They thought it was so funny. They thought it was a really good movie. And I'm just like, then what's wrong with me?
I know.
Why didn't I enjoy this in the way that nearly universally everyone else did? So I don't know. I guess that's some introspection I have to have.
No, I felt the exact same way though. And I think, okay, are we just old and cynical? Like, I don't know.
Some of the people I were talking were older than me. So.
Yeah. We're just cynical. No, I don't think we're cynical. Honestly, I didn't go into this with any expectation one way or the other than I heard people liked it and like really liked it. And so I was like, okay, cool. I'll jump in. And it was just, the whole thing was just, you say that it was rush, but also I felt like it was paced in the way that I didn't really know what their point was. And so to me, it felt slow.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, and like also you say it doesn't feel like there was anything new there. And especially character wise, there's a few new characters that are introduced, but then they kind of hit the same high notes from the previous film. We have Splash, the sloth. He makes a comeback. We have the mob boss, and they make another comeback. And there's just characters that were such hits and important in the first one. They bring them back. And I really can't blame them for that.
Right.
I didn't mind it. The Flash thing, it's like, of course, you're going to do the joke where he's the slow guy's the fast guy.
Yeah.
And then the mob boss and that they're undercover, like the fake Gucci sweatshop that they were running. I thought that was funny. And I actually really enjoyed that. And it just seemed like, yeah, and then when they realized, oh, we're working with the Lynxes, I thought that was a good connection, because we already knew that these guys were bad. And then it put levity to the Lynxes that like, oh no, like you don't mess around with them. I'm trying to think who else was Shakira and Gazelle. This is one thing that I haven't heard anyone else mention as a negative, but they go to this festival and Gazelle is performing there and it's called Burning Mammal and it's supposed to be a Burning Man thing. Obviously direct parody of Burning Man. And if you know anything about Burning Man, it is not child friendly. It is not somewhere you would bring your children. It's known for its heavy drug use. And I just thought it was odd that it wasn't a key scene, but we definitely it wasn't a blink and you miss it. It was.
Oh, yeah.
I just like the way that all the animals were dressed there, both the female and the male animals in these like rave party outfits. I was like looking around. I'm like, am I the only one who just doesn't think this is appropriate for Zootopia? I mean, they could just clothe the animals a little more. And again, this is It just things that are going through my mind. I'm like, I don't know. That's weird that this is what we're covering, but maybe that's just me. But yeah.
That part didn't really hit me. It was more the like, yeah, Burning Man is not a thing that I would have put with children. And it was like, I've only heard stories, obviously. So
one thing that I did like, and I don't remember from the first one, the backup dancers for Gazelle, but Gazelle has all of these tigers, like really buff, strong tigers that are her backup dancers. And I just really like the juxtaposition of that, is that she is clearly the prey in that situation and should be totally torn apart and eaten and devoured in normal situation.
Yeah.
And with this, she is, you know, the one in control, and she's the alpha, the head honcho. I just liked that imagery that they did there with Gazelle. But
Hey, the vibes are slipping. I think it's time to bring out the Velveeta shells and cheese. The holidays are a time to go all in on indulgence. Headline your meals with the rich, creamy meltiness of Velveeta shells and cheese and satisfy your holiday cravings like no other. Bring that main course energy to your side dish. Celebrate extra with Velveeta these holidays.
My name is Percy Jackson. Getting in trouble is like breathing for me.
The hit series returns to Disney Plus and Hulu.
The danger the camp is under is greater than you can possibly imagine.
For the key to our survival, 3 of you must quest to the Sea of Monsters.
Let's go do the impossible.
Percy Jackson and the Olympians. New season 2 episode premiere December 10th on Disney Plus and Hulu. Learn more at disneyplus.com/what's on.
what did you feel about, so we have Gary the snake. And he was the big, you knew there was going to be snakes in Zootopia 2, because obviously the 2 on the marketing and on the poster was a snake. And so you're like, oh, and we all have the impression snakes bad, snakes evil. Right. Generally, that's kind of the vibe. So how'd you feel about Gary the snake?
Okay, so when you first meet him, he just has this it's a thing that I would expect to be a double crosser coming at you, because he just has this completely innocent type of tone of voice, and
the voice does not match.
We would never do that, just feel like, but we can finally come home. It's just a very lost puppy kind of a vibe that you get from him. And I mean, I get that that's part of the gimmick, is that or the trope, I guess, is that you're expecting him to be the one that turns back and, hey, you knew I was a snake when you picked me up. So I get that, but then also it takes a turn when the bro Lynx is the one who actually plays Hans, and as you had mentioned in our little text thread.
He has the Hans reveal, yes, which was the Andy Sandberg as Pobert Linksley.
Yeah.
He's
that was him.
The little brother who is the youngest. He's the runt of the family. And so he's trying, we just think that he's going against the family and he's a good guy. And then it's revealed that he actually is just trying to prove himself in the family. The runt complex.
Right.
And did that work for you? Bad guy reveal?
I mean, not really. I think it would have been more successful had there been things that you could go back later and be like, oh, that's actually what he meant. Like if he had more phrasings that were a little more ambiguous, I think that instead of just totally playing this nice guy that I'm just trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, I felt, as time has passed, the Hans of it all and the reveal, the sudden, hidden villain has gotten a lot of backlash. I think at the time Hans worked. I know some people to this day say Han does not work because there's no reveal. There's no hints, there's no clues. And I totally get that.
Yeah.
I think for what it was and how, novel it was, it worked. But for subsequent villains, if you're going to do that, I don't know. But this one didn't work for me. I thought we needed to have a little bit more breadcrumbs and clues that Judy specifically and Nick should have been aware of and picked up on, but because maybe they were laser focused on X, Y, or Z, they missed it. And so I would have liked more of those. And I don't feel like there were any. I'm trying to think of, and obviously I can't go back and, think of every bit of dialogue, but there wasn't even like a double entendre to any of the things that he was saying, at least from my mind. So when it was revealed, it was shocking, but it wasn't as shocking as Hans. Maybe that Band-Aid has been ripped off where it's not, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. Anyone can be a bad guy. Why not? But I liked the idea of him trying to work them to get ultimately to get what he needed. I just felt like we needed a little bit more as an audience clued into that, maybe a little earlier to make it more worth it, because it was revealed and I wasn't shocked. It was like, okay, yeah, of course you're bad. Why not?
Why not? They gave Gary his own limitations of cold. And so he can't be in a place that's cold because he's a reptile. And so I liked that. I like that you're playing off of actual biological limitations. It feels like it didn't feel like there were a lot of biological limitations that anybody was trying to overcome like that other than him. So for example, Judy should have had something to do. I don't know. There just should have been more things happening in that way. But I mean, you did have that with Nick as far as like, he's a solitary creature. And so he's like, well, no wonder you don't invite me over. Your place is a mess. But I was like, hey.
So let's talk about Judy and Nick. So one thing that is the big elephant in the room with Judy and Nick is that they are very much shipped online by the Zootopia fandom. Right. The Zootopia fandom is like a world of its own. And there's some interesting lore to Zootopia fandom and fan comics and whatnot, which I'm not even going to go into here on the podcast. That's too much. But anyway, they really like them to be together and to be a thing. And so in this one, I think the filmmakers are very much aware of that. Oh, yeah. And they know that this is something that can happen. But in this one, they don't go there. It's not a romance, but they do heavily hint at the romance that can be, like the chemistry. And
well, they throw it in even at the very beginning when they're they're undercover as parents and
right.
And says like, yes, but we're happy happy mom and dad first before like as a couple, so it's just like, okay.
Did you want them to be a couple in this one? Like, would it have been more satisfying if they finally got together at the end?
Not really. I mean, I saw them more as an odd couple than a couple.
Right.
I feel like it would have been better if they would have, instead at the end, they're like, I love you. It's like their moments of, I'm declaring their love for each other, but it's like, they should have said something like, I don't know. I just feel like it has been not that long that they've known each other. And obviously, love happens when, at different times. But the point is that it just feels unearned. Even if they are the same Birdman, you cannot marry. You're from two different worlds.
And I feel that way. Even to this day, I'm like, I don't like it. I don't like the idea of the fox and the squirrel, not the fox and the squirrel, the fox and the rabbit together as a couple, just because, I mean, how does that really work? And why are we thinking about that? It's weird to me.
Yeah, no, and I don't think...
And Zootopia doesn't have a problem with this, obviously. They show couples from different species and whatnot. You're not supposed to care. You're not supposed to think about it. But it's always, for me, whenever this happens in movies, I'm like, I don't like it.
I don't like it.
My Twilight quote. You and Cullen, huh? Yeah. I don't like it.
Yeah, I feel like, to me, that wasn't an issue. It was the fact that it just felt very piled on at the very end, just like spewing information at you as the watcher, and it just didn't seem like it was satisfying.
That was a big problem that I had, was the therapy of it all. Like they go to this therapy, and that's funny. I feel like it's funnier in Wreck-It Ralph because that's kind of the first time we've seen something like that. But they go to this therapy session, and then they end up kind of revealing some things that, creates problems in their relationship. But then at the very end, like it just feels like therapy saves the day because they just in the big moment, we're just sitting there and it's like yap, 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 yap. Here's my problems. Here's the problems that I have with you. Here's the things that really struggle with yap, 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 yap. And the other person, yap, yap, yap. Here's how I've been feeling. Yap, yap, yap. It just was like therapy saves the day because we talked it through.
I'm not opposed to this in
real life, that's great. But in a movie, it just was such anticlimactic. It just felt like, we need to show this, not tell this. Mm-hmm. And I get they're trying to say good, strong couples communicate.
Yeah.
But you can show that without literally, we're going to sit and we're going to talk about our problems. And it just, it's not as compelling as for a narrative and for a story and for a movie to have that be the way that you ultimately resolve your problem.
Yeah. And what I was going on earlier about is I feel like almost like it would have been better instead of being leaning into a more of a romantic side with the two of them. I think it would have been better if it would have been like, it's hard making friends as an adult, and if they would have leaned into that more, I just feel like there would be like, not only that would it not cause any like uncomfortableness
on my part,
but it would be like, yes, it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, I don't have the same aversion as you do as far as like
interspecies couplings.
Interspecies. Like I just see it as a cartoon. Like I don't read that deeply into it, but I do think that it would have highlighted something that is very true, especially for like a younger, or an older demographic. And if it would have just been like, I'm just so grateful for you. And I don't know how to explain that I need people. I need somebody. And he said, you are my pack. But that doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic thing. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be romantic side or a romance. I love romance. And I wish there were legitimately more romantic things happening in movies these days. Mm-hmm. However, because of the interspeciesness, and it's a number 2, if they're going to lead to something, they might as well let it hold off until number 3 if they're going to do a third. But in number 2, it should have been something like, wow, like it's been hard to even just, recognize that I need somebody. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be much more than that.
Yeah. So with Gary the Snake, he has this big moment with Judy and he says, "You're my best friend." And I probably rolled my eyes in the theater when he said that. That was so unbelievable in the fact that they just didn't have the connect. Like they weren't ever together that much. There was a lot of time they were separated.
Yeah. It's only been a day.
It was like unbelievable. It was just like, I don't believe that she's your best friend. It's been a day and or however long it's been. And maybe that's true for you, but it definitely did not come off on her part. Like it didn't seem like they had this connection that was just.
No, yeah. It was, it definitely felt like he was much more either on the younger side or more on the spectrum side. So
yeah, I don't know. That was like such a cheesy line. I was like, we didn't need that. That just really made it kind of lame. But things that I did like, I liked the honeymoon lodge place that they go to. So I like the reptile swamp, this kind of like underground seedy place. I really like that.
It's like the Florida Everglades.
Yeah, the mode of transportation through these tunnels. And the stress that happens when they, as mammals, get stuck in them and they can't breathe. Yeah. So they have to get the emergency. That was, again, that was another one of these like action-packed so fast scenes. But I kind of thought it was an interesting thing. And then they end up just kind of in the middle of the mountainside and they go up to this honeymoon lodge that's kind of abandoned. I thought that was a really interesting scene. The other one, it's not a scenery, but I really enjoyed Patrick Warburton as Mayor Brian Windancer. He was so great. I mean, I love Patrick Warburton in anything that he does. But, in the last movie, we had the lion as the mayor. And so now we have a new mayor and he's very much like the former actor. And it kind of Schwarzenegger vibes.
Yeah.
You know? And so it's just really funny. But then I liked how he was really not his own person, and the fact that he had been bought and basically was doing the will of the Linksley family, you know?
Yeah.
And so very, very real politically to what happens to a lot of politicians is that they're just kind of puppets.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Anytime Patrick Warburton is on screen as a voice, I am all for it. Either on screen or just as voice. I'm for it. Yeah.
The other person that I thought was really great was Nibbles Maple Stick. That's a great name.
Oh, yeah.
The Beaver. And she is the Beaver podcast host and conspiracy theorist. And I liked that whole concept of this like conspiracy theorist person who ends up being right, you know, like the podcast thing didn't love. I felt like podcast just dates it a wee bit. You could have just had like just said show and left the word podcast out of it. This is such a nitpick.
Yeah.
And I felt like that would have made this a little bit more timeless. But just the fact that it was a podcast, I was like, okay.
It is very interesting, though, when you look at podcasting today versus when we started. Like, podcasting when we started was very much a niche thing. It wasn't known. Like, we had to teach people what it was when we told them that's what we did.
Right.
And nobody understood it. Like, it was just a thing that... And so to say they have a podcast and then later on everyone has a podcast, and it's like, oh, okay, you know, it's like it doesn't really have the validity to it. But at the same time, you're looking at the biggest audiences now in the world come from people's podcasts. And so like it's a podcast has both sides. It's and some people, when they get together to do a podcast, they go all in on the sets and do the video stuff. And it's like, you look great. I mean, man, if we had all that stuff figured out when we first started, it'd be a very different world. But
we would be ruling the world like Nibbles Maple Stick.
Yes. But it's true, though. It's a very different world, and there's a lot of validity that comes from having the sets and coming from having all of these extra things, and it really depends. Like, there's a lot of things that can be faked as far as like popularity. You know, there's certain podcasts that are super popular, and others that, you know, it's, you know, me and my mom listen to this, and I don't know if it bothered me to say she had a podcast, because like I said, that has changed so much.
It's very nitpicky. Yeah. I just felt like show would have been a little bit more all-encompassing of a term, even though podcasts are very ubiquitous now. It just feels like there's some things that's like, oh, this is the thing. And then you watch a movie 10, 20 years later and you're like, oh, that's just so dated. You know, you never know what it's going to be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, who knows? Maybe podcasts are going to be the actual thing coming, you know, as time goes on.
Make that bet. So anything else? Oh, one thing that I thought was funny, and this was not a conspiracy theory, but a rumor or something online, was they had the Zebra Bros.
I loved the Zebras.
They were hilarious and so funny.
They were my favorite from the very beginning. Like, literally, when I was making our document, the only thing that I wrote down was the zebra. The Zebras were my favorite.
Well, apparently people have done some digging, and it appears one of them is not a zebra, but he's a horse that has painted on stripes. And if you look at his mane and his tail, it's very much different. And he has the features of a horse and not a zebra. So go down that rabbit hole if you would like. But if that's true, that's amazing.
Zebras.
They were great. They were. That's the thing, is there were a lot of really funny things in this.
Yeah.
But I felt like, from my perspective, there was a lot more funny moments that they were trying to hit. A lot of the slapstick, a lot of the comedy, over a really, really compelling story that felt different from the first. And at the same time, making this the same sort of setup as, you know, plot-wise as the first one isn't a bad thing.
No.
You know, it worked in the first one. We're going to do it again. They're going to, you know, they're partners. They've established this. They're going to, you know, solve another case. Why not? It just wasn't as strong as I would have liked it to be.
Yeah.
Okay. So what would you rate it?
Like I said, I gave this a very strong solid meh. And I'd say like 2.5 stars for me. As I'm sitting here talking about it with you, I think that my appreciation of it does go up. But I think that's more just my appreciation of our chat than the movie itself. So yeah, like when I came out of it, it was a strong 2.5 stars out of 5.
All right. That's interesting because I feel like you like this movie a lot more than me. And I would probably give it 3 stars.
Oh, okay.
Where you, based on our conversation, you think I would give it lower than you. But hey, that's how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
I gave Wicked for Good 2.5 stars.
And mine was like 4. So it was
I enjoyed this more than that. So I'm going to give it 3 stars all around. So let us know your thoughts. Let us know what you rate Zootopia 2. Go to rotoscopers.com/359 and leave a review there. Also, we are going to begin gathering voicemails for a big old voicemail show in a few weeks. So start sending those in, whether they are reviews and thoughts about films that we have done over the past few months or just general thoughts about the state of animation or anything on your mind. Send it our way. Go to rotoscopers.com/voicemails or give us a call at 406-646-6575. Hopefully you can get a Christmas movie in before our next film. Be sure to subscribe, follow us everywhere that you listen to podcasts, and you will be surprised on what our next episode is. So until next time, we are the Rotoscopers.
As another blooper, I would really like people to go watch A Very Merry Cherry Christmas, a Hallmark movie spoof by Trey Kennedy. Honestly, I started it on my phone and I was like, no, this needs to go on the big screen. And I was so funny. It's on YouTube. So
I thought when you sent that to me, I just thought it was a spoof, like a 3-minute trailer sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't.
No,
it was like
a full-fledged
and then I look
movie.
at the time stamp on the bottom. It was an hour 13 minutes. I'm like, oh, pause. We need to watch this in a different setting when I can actually sit and enjoy it, because this is going to be a real show. And so yeah, I'll include a link to that in the show notes. That funny stuff. Yeah. Have I told you about my week of freedom?
No, freedom. Glorious, glorious freedom.
Yeah. So my house, as witnessed in just this situation in this room alone, everything is clutter. Everything is, there's stuff, there's piles, there's crap everywhere. And it's out of control. And it's like, it just builds on you and you want to work on it. But because it's everywhere, it's just so debilitating.
Yeah.
That you're just like, I'm not even going to start. And you have kids that you clean up a toy or you do something like, and they immediately, there's a new pile somewhere else. There's a new toy that's out, or they get the toy that you just put away and they dump it out. And it's just like, what's the point? What's the point in all this? And so it's been like this for a while, like a few years. And it's like, it kind of gets better, but not really. And there's like, it never has the whole house been all clean at once. So I was telling my sister-in-law this. I said, all I want for like a birthday or something is just a whole week of no kids, like no mom responsibilities, just so I can clean the crap and clean the house. Not even cleaning. Like my goal, like it's not to clean. It's not to like clean toilets.
It's just to tidy.
It's just to tidy, to say, oh, this thing that has been sitting here for 4 months, like for example, Chelsea's CDs that are right here. Do the job that needs to be done with those and then put those away. The next thing, this book that's sitting right here. Let's put it in the bookshelf. Like it's that times 1,000. And I'm not even like these little tiny basic tasks. And I was telling her,
I mean, do you want me to hire somebody to come in and help you with these things?
No. Just I'm getting there.
Okay.
So you hire. Wow, you're gonna help. You're gonna pay. No. So I was telling her this, and she's like,
if that's the thing you want for a baby gift, I can do that.
No, she was, and it's so funny because she was like, oh my gosh, I want the exact same thing. I just want my husband to take the kids, go camping for a weekend so I can just be just focused. Because here's the thing. It's like, yeah, even if you're going to like set time, like 3 hours a day or 2 hours, you have a kid that comes up, or you have to stop because you have to do parent pickup, or something happens. You have to go run an errand. You have to do all these things. Like there's never this long sustained time, or baby wakes up early from nap, whatever. And it's just, it's just not possible. So,
And you want to sleep at night.
Yeah. And it's so funny because like she told her husband, she's like, see, this is what people want. And he's like, well, why don't I just get you a hotel room and you can just have a nice hotel, like a relax. And we're both like, we don't want to relax. That's not the purpose right now. That would be great. I mean,
some people do, but
time. But this is like number one priority is like get control of the clutter and the crap. And it's so funny. So then, Jared was there and he was like, oh, well, it's like, if that's what you really want, like, I'll do it. And so this was early November. And then he finally found a date, which is this week in December. And he's taking the whole week off, Monday through Friday.
Okay.
Like the kids are not coming over. I am not making dinner. It's like I don't exist because I can't even have just go pick them up from this. And so he's at his mom's. And he packed a bunch of food and he's going to do dinners and he took the week off and he's doing that. And so today was the first day and it was a little rocky getting started because they left and then he needed to come back and I hadn't packed bags. And then literally what I said happened is I started cleaning up like the toys. I was going to go room by room, but I was like, there's toys everywhere in this living room. I'm just going to like put these like easy toys away. It'll take 10 minutes. And I put all the magnets in the magnet bucket and then they come and no joke, 2 minutes within the boys walking in, they dump all the magnets and, and they say, big pile.
No.
I'm like, this is exactly why like you have to go. I wasn't like saying get out of there. Obviously he came back to like get the last minute things, but I felt like, and then they were there. It was like interrupting my progress because I had to like help out and
this big pile.
And that was a big pile. Yeah. And, anyways, so this is like the greatest thing ever. And it's not just because I'm just so happy. I'm so happy.
Like take the kids for the hotel and just.
I know. Like, right. Like he should do that. But yeah, they're still in school.
You got, what is the river, the Wolf Lodge?
Wolf Lodge. Yeah.
Like that's basically like you take the kids, take them, let them swim, let them hang out with the whatever things. And
yeah, except for he'd have to do that alone. Now he has his mom, to help.
Perfect.
At
Even
her
better.
House. So anyways, this is day one. I've already officially done the laundry room and that is like closed off, like organized, like that was a small room, like a very, very small job compared to like the kitchen's going to be bad. This room's going to be bad. This is probably going to be the last, but I'm trying to do like the visible spaces first.
Yeah.
Where you walk in, guests would see.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to like finish it all, but like if for some reason I didn't, at least like those main areas, and then I can put up Christmas. Like I do not want like the idea of putting Christmas up. I have my tree up, but like everything else, I'm like, that's just more clutter. That is more stuff that I don't want in my life, which is sad. You should want Christmas decorations. So anyway, that's my week this week and it's great.
That's awesome.
And I'm like trying to stay off social media because, you can, I get tired. Like I get really out of breath and exhausted, obviously, because of my current state.
I don't think that we've announced your current state on the podcast.
I'm pregnant with my 5th and I'm due in 3 weeks. So like I get very tired. And this is not the ideal time to be doing this.
Yeah.
Because I really get fatigued. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's like really sad.
No, but seriously,
it's like a real thing. No, it's fine. It's just when I do, I just go and sit down for 5 minutes and I like literally set a timer, like 5 minutes. We're not going to doom scroll. And that's like enough to just like, okay, you can go back and do it. And there were some things I was able to do.
But this is why TaskRabbit is a thing. We can get you help.
And this is great because and all these like little projects, it's like they're, they call it like mental clutter, like a mental to-do list where it's by having all of this stuff here subconsciously, it's just a to-do list in your mind of, even though you're not acknowledging it every single time you walk by it, but it's like, you need to put that paper away. You need to put this book away. You need to do that away. And it's like that times 1,000. It's just like,
that's why it's stressful having all this around, because it's just constantly reminding you of what you should be doing, what needs to be done.
Or what you haven't done.
Yeah, like so in the family room or in the entryway, the kids like to play school there. They have like a school kit with like name tags and report cards. Like it's so funny to me that like that's their go-to when they have friends over. Let's play school. And some of the papers are like certificates of like attendance award and like all these little awards, but they don't want to use them because they're just paper. They're not laminated. And so that was like a thing on the list was, and I follow this like declutter sort of lady, and her thing is like, put things away one at a time. Don't create piles, because then the piles, if you get distracted, is now a pile.
Yeah.
Instead, just
big pile.
Exactly. Like take a piece of paper from the pile and go do what you need to do with it, whatever. Mm-hmm. And if there's a project involved in the clutter, just do the project. Just consider that as part of your decluttering.
Yeah.
Is getting the project done. And so that's what I did, is I sat down and I laminated all the things that needed to be laminated. I cut them, I put them in their binder, organized it all. It was like done. And it was like, this was nice. Like in reality, you wouldn't want to be sitting there like, oh, this is my only time to do it, but now it's done. And so I'm a believer in her system. Her name is Dana K. White. She just put the K in there because of the other Dana White, but I love her decluttering system. So anyway, let's talk about Zootopia 2.
Well, no, I want to talk about my big accomplishment.
Yes. Okay. Talk about your big accomplishment.
Like,
this is going to be an extended blooper.
Yeah, of course.
Let's talk about me. Let's talk about you.
I don't want to talk about me. I want to talk about you. What do you think about me? Yeah. So I finally finished my degree. I am officially an Arizona State graduate.
You had the ceremony?
No, I'm not going to go to the ceremony.
Unofficially.
No, but I finished everything and I know what it's going to be. I already got the chords because for I summa cum laude, just so you know.
Oh, congratulations.
So, yeah, thank you. Yeah, they already sent the chords, and I actually had them sent to my brother's house because I wasn't sure where I was going to be, and I wasn't sure if I was going to actually try to go walk, or if I was going to not. I mean, I just was like, I don't know. So I'll just send them there just in case. And so I will be going back to Arizona for Christmas, but I did not want to spend an additional 10 days in Arizona. So I was like, meh, I'll go for Christmas. And I'm going to have my brother's kids prepare 30-second to 2-minute speeches for my graduation ceremony. Awesome. And they're going to play Pomp and Circumstance and all, the whole thing. And I'm going to walk in and
your own private.
I will have my private celebration in their living room during Christmas. And my 6-year-old niece, I've told her that I need her to give some kind of a talk too. So
okay. I love it.
I want all of the nieces and nephews to give some kind of a big speech for a minute. Mm-hmm. The whole thing should last no more than 10 minutes. Like, yay.
Yeah.
But that'll be fun. And yeah, I'm so happy to be finally done with this.
Yeah.
I started this 2.5 years ago. Because I had done several years, 2 years, I guess, of schooling prior, but more broken up. Mm-hmm. And so I did like a couple semesters here, a couple semesters there, so it was just kind of an overtime. So over the span of 20 years, I finally finished it.
Bit by bit, piece by
bit. We can do it. But yeah, so I started it. I was taking care of my parents at the time, and it was I was also driving Uber, and once you get to a certain amount of rides, then Uber offers to pay for a degree at Arizona State University online. And so I had gotten to that point, and I was like, I might as well do this because I need something to keep myself sane. Because both of my parents, I was taking care of them, both of them had dementia. And so it was like, I need one interaction in some way, but also just some kind of something that makes me feel like I'm progressing in my life. So that was the main reason why, and it was free. So I was like, might as well. And so, so thank you to Uber for that.
Yay, Uber. Thank you so much.
It was very helpful. And it, it helped me a lot during those times. But yeah, so I did digital audiences, like digital advertising, just because it was like something we'd already done. And I was like, I feel like I already do this because I do, but I just didn't have the degree behind it. And I was just like, well, I might as well get the degree.
Finalize it and wrap it up, make it official.
Yeah. And it's like in general, like for jobs, they don't really need the degree to be in a specific thing. They just need the checkbox, especially if you're doing any like getting jobs online and like resumes through any of these big like Indeed or whatever. So it was just like in my head, I was just like, just finish it. It's like, just do it. And this last year was one of those things. I was like, I'm here and I'm doing this, but do I really want to? Like the last year seriously was like, do I really need to? Do I? But I was already here and I'm already doing it. And so it was like, obviously I'm going to do it. But yeah, Morgan got to see all of my rants through the last year and a half. And I would like to thank you for putting up with that.
I appreciated them to an extent. And it's not about you. It was about some of the stuff in the class that was like, oh gosh, good times. So
yeah. So, and also I feel like a lot more of a knowledge, of a surety of like what is being taught in colleges. And so like I always, for a long time, I had this feeling of insecurity because I didn't have a degree, because I didn't have that. And it was just like, it wasn't really needed. And especially now going through the whole thing and knowing like all of the, like a majority of the classes are just very basic things. And so it's just because you didn't go through those basic things doesn't mean that I am somehow less smart than somebody who did do those things. And so it's like, okay, good. But, so just knowing that, it was like, well, good. Okay. Now I know that like exactly where I stand on all these kind of things. And also, I mean, it got me, it did allow me to get a good job where I'm at right now. So I'm happy about that.
Nice.
I've moved over to being so I've been working with a medical clinic, and they have been mostly using an outsourced agency to do all their marketing.
Yeah.
And they haven't really, so anyway, they were like, we really just need somebody in-house. And I had already been working there in another department. And so they're like, would you like to do that? I'm like, sure. So
nice.
There's more of a lateral change than an actual increase in pay, but it's fine. Like, it's cool. So anyway, that is that. And I was also, fun thing, I was asked to sing at Calabash, North Carolina. It's just on the other side of the state line. And it's only like 30 minutes from where I live. And so they asked me to sing at their annual Christmas tree lighting celebration, which it's been a while. Like it's been over a year since I've done anything musically. And so that was nice to like go and do it and be like, oh, I can still do this.
Yeah.
And they said something really nice. They were just like, yeah, you're the best one we've ever hired. I'm like, you don't have to say stuff like that. So thank you.
Yeah.
It was, he was a musician too, to a point, and he's just like, you've been trained. I'm like, yes, I have. So it was good. But the problem was like this event normally has a parade that goes through it, and it's very quaint. It's just this small town kind of thing, but they have a parade and all the things. And normally they said they have around 3,000 people that show up, but this year, unfortunately, it rained. And so the parade went from like 30 entries down to like 14, and it was raining. And so you had, instead of 3,000, you had about 300. So
Wow.
it was a much different
that's such a
world than what
bummer.
they
Yeah.
normally would expect, but it was fine. I was fine.
Yeah.
It was very, very cute, the whole thing too. Like they were the leaders of it, and they've been doing it for 30 years.
Mhm.
And so you have, and he was just a veterinarian in the town, and he just wanted to create some kind of a local thing. And so they've been doing it for 30 years, and he and his wife are both the announcers for all of the parade entries that go by.
Yeah.
And they're just very good at it, and they're very jovial kind of thing. It's just like, you're very cute. I'm glad I came to this, either like whether I was singing or not. I was just glad it was like, this was fun.
Fun to
This was cool.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are the
I love
main happenings with me. Yeah.
I'm glad to have you back.
Thank you. Yeah. That is a nice thing. That was the other thing. I would have some of these classes that just every night for 2 to 3 hours was just like flashcards. And it was just like mind numbing.
Cool.
Anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Yes. On to Zootopia 2. 1 second. I have to put something out for the kids. They're running by. I don't want them to come in.
Okay.
I thought I put it out the door, but I
Big pile.
didn't. Seriously, big pile.
You've been listening to the Animation Addicts Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and be sure to leave us a 5-star review. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you want to help spread the word, be sure to share the podcast with your friends on social media. Just don't forget to tag us at Rotoscopers on Instagram and use the hashtag Animation Addicts. For all the links and full show notes for this episode, go to rotoscopers.com/podcast. Now, if you still can't get enough for your animation fix, be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and visit rotoscopers.com for more animation news, reviews, and interviews. Thanks for listening.